Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to episode number 15 of our Suzerain Let's Play series, taken from a live stream series on my Twitch channel. This is a game about being a fictional president in a fictional country in a fictional Cold War. It is basically a choose-your-own-adventure role-playing game, visual novel with strategy elements. And in this series so far, we've been kind of doing a little bit more of an evil run than last time through. Not quite super evil, but, you know, we've partnered with dictators, which is leading to genocide, while at the same time amending the Constitution to strengthen our own position. But we're also amending the Constitution to introduce term limits. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, not total evil, but also not total good. In the last episode, we successfully got our constitutional amendments passed by 2/3 of the Congress or Parliament. I think it's a parliamentary system, but we're a president, so maybe it's a mixed system, because there's like 4 parties, which would be unlikely in a like a U.S. system. But yeah, this is an interesting game. This is episode number 15 of the series. Now we gotta convince the Supreme Court, who amazingly enough has a veto power on a constitutional amendment. So we're gonna have to convince them to support us, and that's where we're picking this up. So I'm gonna turn it over to the live stream from this episode and catch you guys at the end. Rumberg whistleblower arrives. All right, let's see what this is all about. A whistleblower from the Rumberg Security Bureau has escaped to Sordland by crossing the border and turned himself to the authorities in Estord. Agent Cheston Hailstone has promised to reveal extremely sensitive information about the development of a weapons program. We can refuse to him and risk antagonizing Rumberg, or send him back. Grant him asylum. Fuck Rumberg. Whistleblower in safe house. Oh shit, the safe house is in Antel? That's on the coast. That's just asking for a submarine raid to come in and kill him. I saw it in some Tom Clancy novel. Probably. All right. Movie premiere. I've been invited to the exclusive preview of Alfred Kubrick. So, Stanley Kubrick? It's a new film, The Morning Shall Come. Although it wasn't much of a movie-going mood, it would have been unprecedented not to attend. With its massive budget and Kubrick's directional cachet, this drama was set to be a milestone for Sordland's burgeoning film scene. Personally, though, I was just looking forward to spending some time with my family. It was a very hot and sunny day as Serge drove us to the old capital. The film was to be screened in the historic cinema Angel del Elroy, the first cinema in Sordland. I gazed at the vast plains between Holsord and Elroy as we drove on the H1. Serge had maxed out the air conditioning to keep the Collada comfortable. Frank fidgeted with his tie as he stared out the window. What's wrong, Frank? Since when do you care what's happening in my life? Hey, Frank, last time we talked I had a beer with you. You're supposed to like me now. I've been busy lately, but I'll always have time for you. What an honor, Your Highness. What a little prick. Frank, don't talk to your father that way. He's been working so hard for the country. Don't make me angry, Frank. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. You're hurting me, Frank. Excited for the movie, sweetie? What about you, Papa? You won something, right? You should smile. Keep doing your best, even if you lose. I'm just fine, Deanna. Everything's going to be wonderful from now on, right, Monica? That's my little girl. Thanks a lot. Now, no more politics talk. Isn't that right, Monica? Of course. Let's just focus on having a nice time at the movies. Monica folded her arms. We drove in silence. I thought she liked me. I thought we had a good relationship now. Serge, we're about to enter Elroy. We'll be at the cinema in a few minutes. Thank you, Serge. I could see many towers of Elroy rising over what was left of the old city walls. In the distance, there were several planes flying toward the city. As they got closer to us, I saw that there were military planes that looked like the sharp-edged Arcasian designs. They're probably headed for our new joint military base. Wasn't your vineyard around here? It's not mine, it's ours. We're at the main square of Elroy in the historic Cinema Angel, the Cinema of Angels. Sort of. Anarchy? Not entirely. Serge pulled the car to the entrance of the building, which was lit by vivid neon strips. On the wall next to the entrance, there were painted the words, "Stop the oppression of Bloods." We were just about to enter the building when a journalist managed to block our path. Mr. President! Mr. President! Your constitutional reforms made it through the Assembly. How do you feel about their chances with the Supreme Court? I trust the justices will make the right decision. Thank you, Mr. President. And were you aware that Tarquin Sol would be president of the proceedings? Of course I was. Approached the crowd and walked up to us. Madam, Mr. President, it's so good to see you here. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Alfred Kubrick. Who? The honor is mine, Mr. Kubrick. I'm a big fan of your work. It's very humbling to know that you've been watching and enjoying my movies. Oh, God. The Swordish Dream was nominated for the best for... Okay. This one may be slightly different from my previous work. Swordish Dream. I love The Man Who Saved the World. Is The Man Who Saved the World one of his... Wrote and directed famous movies such as Rebecca, A Touch of Satan, and Eyes Wide Open. And Swordish Dream. Touch of Satan, Eyes Wide Open. Wasn't there a third, Rebecca? I love The Man Who Saved the World. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Swordish Dream. The other one's probably a, hey, these created an incident. Oh, really? Then you might enjoy this one, too. I'll admit I didn't expect you to be such a cinephile. Why don't we take our seats? It's about to start. It was a period drama set in the 1870s about a Swordish soldier who pursues a doomed romance with a widowed Bludish farmer during the conquest of Bergia. I wondered briefly whether Kubrick was commenting on my own treatment of the Bludish people. But then he had finished filming long before I became president. As the credits rolled, I made an early exit to use the men's room. I was washing my hands when I heard an unmistakable voice behind me. So what did you think? Tarquin Sol leaned on his cane. He had the same frail appearance I'd noticed at the assembly meeting. Yet up close, I could still sense the raw magnetism that had kept him in power for 20 years. I found the plot questionable, but it certainly looked spectacular. What about yourself? Sentimental problem for the enjoyment of housewives only. And for a period piece, the script contained far too many anachronisms. Indubitably! Totes! Those are your choices? Yeah, man. Totes! Indubitably! Right, because that's how a president's gonna speak. This is the secret language between different presidents. Now we gotta do our secret president handshake. Indubitably, blah, 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 blah. I'm surprised to see you're still around, sir. What were you doing at the assembly? My country was about to make a rash decision. I couldn't simply sit by. I still have immense respect for you, Colonel Sol. I wish it was reciprocated. It will be when you prove yourself worthy of it. Why Why do you want these reforms blocked so badly? I will not have my party and my constitution tarnished by a tyrant. You calling me a tyrant of all people? You're calling me a tyrant of all people. Ha! If Sordland remains in your hands, the only future I see is misery. Well, I guess we're okay. At last I can admit it. I never did like you. You had your chance to lead. Everyone saw. You made a mess of it. I was wrong to champion you all those years ago. You proved to be a spineless weasel. History will show who's what, Colonel. That's Tarquin Saw. Well, I guess he's not in favor of my reforms. Ugh. 2 organizations declare support for the BFF. Children of Ism, a local gunalist cult. Okay. Leal's graph has reported that both... Wait. Children of Ism? What's the other organization? Gassam operations stagnate. I'm guessing if I didn't sell off the shares in Gassam, then they might be doing better. Energy resources in Polaris. Magnolia warns against vandalizing threat on the seas. Supreme Viseman Johann... whatever. Okay. CSP sends Peace Armada to assist XEZ. Great. Okay. I sure hope that's not the island. Gondolas threats against denaturists. We gotta keep in mind that I don't trust that leader. What's the news say? Sordland faces mounting threat from BFF terrorists. Rayne and Sol meet at Kirchberg screening. New law on the Sordish language vetoed. One film, 2 very special guests. Peaceful protests. Washroom summit. What is Rayne and Sol hiding? Rayne vetoes racist language bill. Hey, you shouldn't know that I accepted the whistleblower. Briefing on the diplomatic strategy. Did I make any regional investments, guys? Yeah, we're investing in some airport or port. We also invested in some mechanized farming equipment. And then we did the regional highway, which is already done. Mr. President! Now that you're here, let's talk about our diplomatic strategy. Mr. President, if I may, I would like to provide you with a short overview of where we're at right now. Go ahead. We've successfully passed trade deals with both Valen and Agnolia, which means we've increased our presence in those regions. These deals were important pieces of leverage and significant first steps on the global arena. Now we must look to the future. Do I like games like EU4 and CK2? Yes, Spine. I haven't played CK2 in a while. CK3 I like as well. I don't play a ton of EU4. I missed that for the most part and played it a while after release. I've played some Hearts of Iron 4 too. a long while ago, quite a bit on the channel. We need to elevate our international standing with the threat of Rumberg looming. Thanks to your wide investment, the Swordfish army is on the way to becoming a force to be reckoned with, whether it be Rumberg or anyone else. Okay. Being friendly won't hurt. There's nothing to be lost by making alliances. A military perspective is important, but those deals are about more than just gaining allies. We also need to consider the benefits to our economy such deals approve. Especially while we're still struggling to end the recession. At the start of our term, I had a comprehensive trade deal plan laid out. Following visits to Valen and Agnolia, we were to pursue potential trade deals with two greater nations. Vagland's one of them, or at least it was. Unfortunately, a trade deal with them is no longer possible. Yeah, because we allied to Agnolia. Now those commies won't be able to invade Agnolia. Brr. Okay, Yosef. We won't let Agnolia be bullied by Vagsland. Now that we have an alliance with them, I agree. We can't leave them alone. As we stand right now, any kind of deal with Vagsland is simply out of the question. Our southern neighbor is one of the wealthiest countries in eastern Maricopa. A trade deal with them would be very beneficial, but not just for our economy, but also the regional international presence. Not to mention they're in the Arcasian sphere. Because we would follow through with our promise to lean westward, his would strengthen our voter base. Indeed, this deal could be the first step in allying ourselves with Lespasia or maybe even entering the ATO. A trade deal with Lespasia could open many doors for us. True, a country as influential as Lespasia could help elevate our economy. Okay. Looking at my stats here, we now have a small tungsten surplus. Okay. Begin negotiations with Lespasia. More trade is good, right? Avery development speeds up following the highway construction. Yay! Avery is rapidly growing. Lauren is not, apparently. Recession hits workers. As the rest of Sordland's workers in Gelsord are bearing the brunt of the recession, the manufacturing sector has been hit particularly hard. It's too bad we didn't invest in that industrial project, eh? Working on the seaport instead. Well, if I need to spend more on healthcare to stop the polio cases, now would be the time. Currency loses value against the Arcasian lira. But the economy is stable. I paused awaiting my usual greeting from my wife. Deanna was out of her after-school classes. Where's Monica? I entered to find Monica sitting on the sofa, a letter in her hands, a look of despair on her face. Darling, what's wrong? Monica briefly rested her head on my shoulders. It's from the Department of Education. Frank's university exams are in. He must have made us proud. See for yourself. 435 points out of 1,000. Oh. Failed. I had a pretty close to perfect run, Lord, in my first run through. I kind of did like a social democrat route, no corruption, pro-democracy. We ended up in the ATO. There was no war. Rumberg didn't invade us. My wife loved me. She was a big politico. I got my son into college. I don't think there was anything bad in that run. We might have had a falling out with Pater, if I can't remember. Does he know the results yet? I don't understand. Frank's a smart boy. I'm guessing what I just said, guys, is the same as what you got. Closest to the perfect run there is. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. I heard a key turning in the front door. Frank stomped in and was about to go straight upstairs when he noticed both of us. Have a seat, Frank. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That's all you have to say? I need a moment. I never thought this would happen. I'm so sorry. You made your mother cry with your actions. I can't do anything right. It's gonna be okay, Frank, but you should really have studied harder. What am I supposed to do? There's always military school. But you're the president's son. You still have options. Yes. If Alfonso could get his dimwit son into Kingston University, I'm sure Whole Sword State would have room for a bright boy like Frank. It would be nice to have him closer to home. Whole Sword State would be amazing. A bunch of my friends are going there. I could still come home to do my laundry. But I failed the exam. Are you sure all this isn't technically illegal? Terrific. Whole Sword State it is then. It's gonna cost us a little bit extra with the privatization changes. Nepotism! I'm guessing if we send him to the military, he dies? You could study abroad. Send him to the army. I'm curious what sending him to the army will do. I don't have the military option anymore. What happens if we send him to study abroad? And with enough money, I could get you into Harcourt, Arcasia. That sounds great, actually. I want him to stay in Sordland. I've got to get out of this experience the world sometime. And Arcasia, people might see me as something more than just the president's son. So we can send him to Harcourt, -2 personal wealth. United People's University in United Cantana is free. Send him to the communists. Let him take him captive. He only dies if we lose the war. Whole Sword State. I won't influence your life, Frank. The military is the right choice. We probably will need the personal wealth to bribe the Supreme Court justices, I'm guessing. So sadly, you're going to the military. I haven't chosen this one before. My principles. I knew it. If it's so important to you, I'll go to the goddamn military. I won't be around to disgrace you any further. He becomes a libertarian if he goes to Arcasia? Really? Good time you learn some discipline, son. I'm going upstairs after him. Even B, he needs time. I suppose I need some time as well. Well, sorry, son. I'll make a man out of you. Time is racing towards us till the Rumbergs arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. You're unsuited for the rage of war, so pack up, go home, you're through. Mister, I'll make a man out of you. Valen trade report. The trade deal struck with Valen continues to bear fruit as Berrier sees an upward trend in agricultural exports. Hey, that looks like a very positive economic growth chart thing. Are we still in stagnated? Consistent economy. That's good, right? I'm not going to be a nepotism person. Sorry. Are our children doomed? Probably. Ceremonial duty for the day of descension. Morning haze surrounded the city of Dire as the sun dawned on the day of descension, the holiest day of Nuritry. As per tradition, the celebration was held inside the arch sanctuary of descension. This, however, for the first time ever, was going to be televised. Okay. This will work out well, trust me, sir. Of course, that's only if the prayer is done completely correctly. Don't forget the order. I'm gonna take a picture of this with my phone. Gonna cheat. First, you need to grasp the Holy Sepulchre with your left hand. Touch the altar with your right. Kneel before the archpriest and wait for him to put on the sword on your shoulder. Then touch the sword with the hand you touch the altar with. Cheating. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? Maybe. It's just a ceremony. Psh, whatever. It's just a ceremony. It's just one of the most important ceremonies in Sordland. Especially for Dire's Bludish residents. You have to go first. I'll come inside later and we can meet up after your part is done. So like what, if we don't do it right, they start rioting and kill me? It was a sight to see. As I reached the gates, I spotted my welcoming committee. The archpriest and his disciples were waiting for my arrival. The archpriest gave me an infectious smile as he straightened his back up. Tall and handsome in his mid-50s, he was one of the youngest and most popular archpriests in history. Some of his more avid followers even likened him to Saint Dust.
Mr. President, praise God. It is a blessing to see you on our most holy day again.
I don't know why I'm speaking like Mario. Bow your head before the archpriest, which triggered a few murmurs of approval from the crowd. The crowd was still cheering loudly. The archpriest turned and raised his head. Everyone immediately fell silent.
O great people of Sordland, once again we are gathered here to honor the day of descension.
I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm indescribably happy to be sharing this moment with you as every blood and sword, old and young, tuning into their television to watch our holy commemoration. Along with the leader of our great nation. Stay far from evil, and our sons and daughters, for evil hides under many disguises. Disguises such as blasphemy, apostasy, and even alcohol. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Excuse me, Mr. Archpriest, but alcohol is fine. Just saying. Pull the Archpriest aside for a photo.
Here, take a picture with me, priest.
Most excellent. You feel like the priest would have a heavier German accent? I don't know. He led me through the main hall.
Right this way. I will be right with you.
Anton Rayne, speak and confess now before the one God, and may he repent your sins on this holy day of descension. The president got up and said, "Die, bloods," and the military stormed in. First, you need to grasp the Holy Sepulchre with your left hand. I confess I've been a bad husband. I confess that I was involved in bribery. I confess nothing, I have not sinned. I confess I am not sure what I am doing for Sordland is enough. That seems a little bit too, well, maybe the Bloods would appreciate that. Or I could go the humanist route and say I've been a bad husband. I'm not going to admit to bribery. I don't even think I was doing any bribery. I'd be confessing to a crime I didn't commit. Oh, well, I guess I did give Carntardi the head of that, whatever. I confess nothing. I guess I confess I'm not sure what I'm doing for Sordland is enough. Do I want to be honest and open to the people? Show some vulnerability? Maybe my wife would like it if I say I'm a bad husband. I don't know. Not doing enough for Sordland. I want to centralize power. I have been a bad husband. Family is the cornerstone of society. Under the watchful eyes of God, men are required to protect their wives and family. But God created us as complex creatures. At times, conflict arises amongst us. Tell me, what was your sin? I have been neglecting my family duties due to the stress of my position. The tragedy of neglect happens to us all working men that feed his family. Rejoice! God is kind in matters of family. Anything else you would like to confess? No, definitely not bribery, no. You are now forgiven before God, Anton Rayne. May you never sin again. The sliding window closed and the archpriest entered the confession chamber. For the confession to end, you must extinguish the candles, representing each one of your virtues and vices. With this smoke once burning, sins connected to you are now smoke and then nothing. Well done, Mr. President. Let's move on to my quarters before the ceremony. Well then, please have a seat. Are you ready for the ceremony? Absolutely. Very good. I wanted to give you something, a gift to celebrate this special day. He pulled out a large rectangular box from his desk drawer, the box lined with gold and expensive gemstones. A beautiful sight, isn't it? It was a dagger. The handle looked like it was made of pure gold and had a very large gem at the end. On the blade, the words were inscribed, Victor, sister. Victory is close. On the other side of the set of words, King Edmund. This dagger belonged to King Edmund. It is a very important artifact of the Kingdom of Sordland era. It is now yours, Mr. President. I cannot accept this. Yes, you can, sir. It is now yours. Think of the past and think of who you are. Traditions are what brought us to this point. Now then, it should be about time. Okay, what do we need to do again? Grasp this holy scepter with your left hand. Hand the scepter over to the archpriest. Oh, wait, no. Kneel before your archpriest and wait for him to put the sword on your shoulder. Kneel before the archpriest. Then touch the sword with the hand you touched the altar with. That was the... Wait, what? Grab the scepter with my left hand, touch the altar with my right. Touch the sword with the hand you touch the altar with. So touch the sword with your right hand. Hand the scepter over to the archpriest. Pass it to a disciple. Compared to last year, that went surprisingly well, sir. Thank you for the sub, cow. Appreciate it. The ceremony went on for another hour and a half. Finally, the noon bells chimed and marked the end of the cathedral service. I told you it would work. Okay. The president attends the day of descension as part of the grand ceremony. The President Rayne was in attendance along with His Holiness, the Archbishop, who together performed a sacred ritual. The momentous occasion was celebratory by everyone, regardless of their rank and status. Sordland has once again felt unity amongst chaos, come together, forgotten the differences, and celebrated the word of God. Okay. Supreme Wiseman Jorg Asmal has expressed his deep appreciation for President Anton Rayne's successful conduct of the Day of Descension ritual. He congratulated the President on his performance and sent blessings on behalf of the Nearest Republic of Derdia. Asmal's congratulatory message highlighted the potential for religious diplomacy in fostering stronger relations between our countries. However, he expressed hope that this religious goodwill can translate into improved political and social conditions for all Neurists, but specifically Golcondists in Sordland. Dinner with Justice Isabel. Mia Morgana had arrived. Isabel Edmonds. We settled at a table on the second floor of La Papillon, a world-class Vespasian restaurant in downtown Holsord. The whole floor was reserved for us, and the music coming from downstairs was enough to guard our voices from potential eavesdroppers. I still can't believe Sol came to the vote. I'm sure he also pressured Justice of the Court against your proposal right after the win. I hate to be on his side, but I don't agree with your proposal either. You call this proposal democratic, but we know it's a power grab, Mr. President. I'm only doing this out of respect. I've organized this meeting because I'm still part of the cabinet. Consider this a favor from my side. Thank you, Miss Morgana. This means a lot. It should, Mr. President. I'm aiding you against what I believe in. Of course, that won't stop me from doing what I can to make it fail. But anyway, let me know if there's something else. I'll be taking my leave soon as Miss Edmonds gets here. What is your view about Justice Edmonds? Somewhat. We're not ideologically entirely aligned, but she is still someone who has a sense of justice. She's not openly protesting against the old guard, but she has told me about her concerns about them. She certainly is open to dialogue, but also skeptical. She seems to be scared of a potential purge against the court. Interesting. Maybe I should play into that. You can find common ground against the old guard. Having common enemies doesn't always result in an alliance, as you know. It's the atmosphere in the court. Most justices don't really talk when I'm around. They don't trust me. I only know about 2 justices I've mentioned earlier who are with me. So we have 3 votes there against you. You still need 6 votes from somewhere. Isabel can potentially bring 2 or 3 votes. That's why she's your ticket. But I doubt it'll work out. The old guards are fanatically opposing your proposals too. What about Heron? Oh, now you want to cooperate with the old guard after all. Lucien and Peda believe that he can be persuaded too. Whether you do, I'm not with you. What has Orso been doing? He's doing his best to organize the court against your proposal. Their weakest link is Heron, but the rest are unbreakable. Nobody is unbreakable. You're right, but where's the breaking point? These old men have a pride, as vast as Maricopa. They're not easy to break. That is not a game, Mr. President. We have a guest coming. We'll wait to order for her. Of course, sir. I'll be around. Mr. President, I know it's too late, but you're making a mistake. You've sent our opportunity to change the Constitution for the better right into the trash. And I can't believe that you also... Suddenly, I just noticed Isabel Edmonds coming upstairs. She was wearing a plain dark gray dress that hid most of her features. Oh, good to see you, Miss Edmonds. Mia got up from her seat to shake Isabel's hands. Mr. President, good to see you. Good to see you, Justice Edmonds. How was your day, Mrs. Edmonds? I would normally say good, but this time I will take the liberty to say it was insanely exhausting. Heavy court matters again. Not that I'm complaining. I know the feeling, but now that you're here, I will take my leave. I have business to take care of. Have a nice evening, Mr. President, Miss Edmonds. Are you ready to give your orders, sir and madam? What's on the menu? For the entree, we have the option sauce pelée with Vespasian-style zabla. Falanco-style liver francs. Oh god, I can't pronounce food names, especially if they're French. Or salad lucchio, made with fresh vegetables and herbs. Fudge! What does she want? What does she like? So does Jurist. I'm not ordering for her, but I don't think. But is my order gonna matter? Okay, I'll go with salad. He went back downstairs, leaving us alone on the upper floor. How's the situation in the Supreme Court? Let's just say busy. You know, Mr. President, since you tried to intervene with the court's decision on Mr. Erson's case, you created some hostility against you, yourself among my wing. But, first of all, congratulations with the vote in the Grand National Assembly. But now you face the Supreme Court, and it pains me to say that your proposal has very low chance of getting through. Not if you support us. I know. I'm perfectly aware that you need us. So the current situation is clear. You need our wing to vote for you. Otherwise, all of your hard work will be in vain. I'm not going to deny that that is the situation. It's a start. At the moment, the waiter came back from downstairs, carrying plates of food. After seeing that we were in the midst of a discussion, he averted his eyes and approached us. He quickly started serving the food and refilled our glasses. He placed the plate of salad lucchio in front of me. It looked very fresh and smelled of olive oil. I was very hungry. Bon appetit! The waiter bowed to us and quickly went downstairs. We wished each other a good meal as Isabel started to eat. The food here was insanely delicious. Isabel took a sip from her water and turned to me. Tell me, Mr. President, what are your real intentions? We need a better democracy. That's all I'm striving for. For some reason, I doubt that. But let's say the proposal goes through. What will be your next move? To ensure the new processes are respected and executed transparently. I see. Isabel took another sip from her water and looked at me without saying anything. Miss Edmonds, please help us achieve this victory. We have to get together in this. Perhaps that is the way we must take. Can you explain to me one thing? How come you think that the Supreme Court's right to vote on constitutional amendments is a major problem with such priority? The judiciary should not have legislative powers, Miss Edmonds. So that's your position. I don't know what to say, Mr. President. These changes are one thing, but you also lead an alarming narrative. I'm concerned about your heavy pursuit of capitalism. You're bringing Arcasian's influence to Sordland. I don't agree with that. We're not their puppets. I didn't say that, but if we're not careful, we'll become a puppet, Mr. President. I find the growing Arcasian influence concerning. I supported the free market reforms earlier, but you can't afford to be reckless like Alfonso. Anyway, there's no point discussing this with you at the moment. I want the old guard as much as you, but I'm torn about the proposal. Don't be. We're together in this. This will open the way for further reforms, too. Vote yes, there's not much to think. Please, Miss Edmonds, we need your help. I feel like it's 1 or 3. This will open the door to further reforms too. It seems like she wants to reform things. So I think I'm going to go with 1. Purely an advisory body for legislation in the High Criminal Court. It must have the power of the judicial review to strike down laws that are against the Constitution. So, like, I kind of agree with 2, but it shouldn't be able to stop changing the Constitution, but if laws are against the Constitution, they should be able to protect it, I guess. So I'd say 2. So what do you think about judicial review? It plays an essential role in ensuring each branch of government recognizes the limits of its own power. Precisely. I'm glad we agree on that. I still have great concern about the removal of the president's impeachment procedure. The president is giving himself total immunity here. The only one who wins here is you, Mr. President. What are you trying to do? The president is elected by the people, and the title should not be taken away by anyone else. You know Swedish politics. We have to protect the presidents. I had to protect myself from all the backlash and the changing soul's constitution. Probably elected by the people and should not be taken away by anyone else. Even a president who becomes another Tarquin soul? Would you be okay with if the people elected a malevolent here? Anyway, at least the proposal introduces term limits. I can say I support that point. Miss Edmonds, I really hope you'll support our proposal. I think I can get behind this proposal. That's great. Thank you, Miss Edmonds. I think I can get you the votes you need. I'll do my best to convince my group, but I can only speak for myself. Thank you. I see we're all finishing with our meals too. This is the time to conclude the meeting. Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. President. Thank you for coming. Ooh, look at the economy, guys. It's green and it's going up. Yay! Look at that economy. Woot, woot, woot. Up means good. Green means good. And on that joyous note, that's where we'll wrap things up here. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I think we're getting toward the end. They've definitely added a fair bit of content with the update. They've added some new storylines and whatnot. When I played this last time, I think the whole series playthrough was 17 episodes. This definitely is longer. The Gasam story was extra. And there's been at least 1 or 2 other extra stories here. So a bit more content than previously. But I do think we're probably in the last third of the campaign. So we'll see how things play out going forward. But until then, this is the Historical Gamer once again saying thank you very much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.